Hello and welcome to Dave's Delightful Dishes. And as always, I'm Dave, and it is such a delight to have you here today visiting me in my kitchen. And today, have I got a recipe for you. I was at an event, and the host of the event came out with this dish that I looked at, and I said, my wife is just going to absolutely love this, and I have to make it. So I talked to my friend Sydney, who made the dinner, and said, okay, tell me how you made this. I got a rough recipe, and I'm going to try to recreate it today, and it's called Marry Me Chicken. Let's check it out. So this Marry Me Chicken is actually a pretty easy dish to make. It's served with pasta, or in this case, pasta is going to be integrated into it. It doesn't use a ton of ingredients, and it's really some basic skills to be able to make it. And it is certainly a 30-minute meal as well. So everything about this sounds great. And when I looked it up to make sure that that was really what it was called and it wasn't just a euphemism, what they say is this chicken is so good that when you serve it to someone, you can expect a wedding proposal. And I saw that there were some people in the room enjoying that, and let me tell you, this is some very powerful chicken. We'll get to that at the end. But first, let's take these ingredients and let's get started. The first thing we need to do is we need to take some chicken breasts, which are actually chicken cutlets. If all you can get are the breasts, you can cut them into, like thin, long slices, like thus. And I need something to dredge into, and then a plate to put them on. And then I have flour. The amount of flour doesn't matter because we're not going to use it all. We're going to use it to dredge the chicken. And you can add seasonings if you like here as well. I generally will put in some salt and some pepper, which of course is just out of my reach. There we go. A little bit of salt, a little bit of fresh ground cracked pepper. Mix that in there, and I'll end up putting some more on top as well. And remember, wash your hands before you touch chicken, and then wash your hands after touching the chicken. But I'm going to dredge these chicken cutlets. And remember, you can buy these at the store as well as cutlets. Most stores will have them. Thinner the better. And we'll put that aside. And then some of these are smaller pieces. I just wanted to use up every bit of it. Do one more here, and then I'll do the rest of this off the screen. So, as you see, I'm just getting the chicken completely covered with flour. In this case, slightly seasoned flour. I think if you wanted to, you could add other seasonings into this flour if you wanted to pump the heat up a little bit, but I don't think it's necessary. It's up to that. That's a personal choice. So let me finish these off, and I'll get right back to you. All right, so we've got a pan, and this is a deep-sided pan, heating up, and I've got olive oil, which in this case is tomato and oregano flavored olive oil. And I don't mind that this isn't coming out because I don't want to have too many of the extra herbs in there. I'll add them later. But you also, seeing as there's sun-dried tomatoes in this recipe, you can use the oil from that as well to get something rather than just plain olive oil. We've got about 2 tablespoons of that and 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. If all you have is salted, so be it, but unsalted is a little bit better. This is going to be a pretty hot pan. We just got to melt this butter down, get it sizzling. As soon as we do that, we can start adding our chicken. Okay, you can see the butter's browning at the edges. So now it's time to add in some chicken breasts. These are these cutlets that we have. And we're going to fry these in this butter and oil for 3 to 4 minutes on each side. All right, so 4 minutes have passed, and you can see it's well browned on the edges, so let's give this a flip. Perfect. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we're going to work in batches and do this with all the chicken breast cutlets that I have, and then we'll move on to making the sauce. All right, so this is the second batch. It's just about done here. We're going to pull this off, and we're going to set it aside. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice all these into small strips so they'll go back in later. But I'm going to let them rest first while I work on the rest of the stuff. So I've now turned my heat down to medium-low, and I'm adding 3 cloves of garlic. And we're just going to stir that to let that get aromatic for about a minute. I'm also going to add in a third a cup of chopped sun-dried tomatoes. Now, as soon as that's aromatic, which is just a couple of seconds, I now have a cup of chicken stock. And we'll try to deglaze this pan. We're going to get as much of this brown bits up as we can. So we're going to let this stir for a couple minutes and just deglaze. All right, now you can see we've come to a simmer and all this, the pan is completely deglazed. So now I'm going to add a cup of heavy cream and a third a cup of grated Parmesan. And we got to stir this on medium-low heat for a couple minutes till it starts to come together as a sauce. Okay, we're starting to simmer at the edges here. So as I'm stirring now, I want to add some thyme, some oregano, and some red pepper flake. And we're going to let this come all the way to a simmer. There we go. We're back to a simmer. So I'm going to reintroduce the sliced chicken into the pan, stir to combine, and then I have separately cooked, in this case, some linguine, whatever kind of pasta you like, and this is about a half a package, and then I've let it, cooked it al dente, and then I've let it set aside while I was doing this, and now I'm going to introduce this to the pan. Maybe not all of it. I'm going to eyeball this as we go. It's a funny thing about pasta. And we're going to keep turning. Yep, add some more. Yeah, there you go. And we're going to let this all simmer together for a little bit until the sauce thickens. All right, it's been another like 2 to 3 minutes, but that's going to vary depending on what heat you got your stove at. I'm not going to drop it back to low while we're finishing here. As you can see, the pasta is completely coated. Everything's cooked through. The sauce has thickened up as well. So this is now ready for plating. So we're going to go ahead and head over to the workstation and get this ready to put on a plate. Okay, so this has taken way less than 30 minutes. This is a fast and easy recipe, and the smells are wonderful. And I know that it's a real powerful recipe too. So we're going to take a nice portion of it. Here's some chicken. Get a bunch of the noodles. Maybe a little bit more chicken. And then we're going to maybe grate a little extra Parmesan on top. Because for those of you who love cheese a lot. There we go. And then I'm going to take some fresh basil that I chopped. And I'm going to just kind of make it rain a little bit. We'll toss a little bit on the rest of the pot there. And then we have to add a little bit of garnish and some crusty bread. And just like that, we have a dinner that's really delightful. And oh my goodness, did this thing have rave reviews when it was made the other day. And for me personally, this is I just had my 20th wedding anniversary, so I hope serving this tonight to my wife will make her ready to marry me all again. And to finish my story, my friend served this at the event, and not 2 days later, she had a ring on her finger. So this is some magic chicken. Use this recipe at your own discretion because it definitely works. Guys, you can check me out, and you can check me out on my Facebook page for Dave's Delightful Dishes, which will be linked in the description below, as will the ingredients for this recipe and all my recipes. You can also check out my Instagram, or on my Facebook page, you can check out my Spreadshirt app where you can find nice merch that I make. Let me know what you'd like me to try next. I'm always up for challenges, and it's a new year, new me, and we're going to head into a whole bunch of new recipes. So keep in tune, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already, and maybe ring that bell so you can get a warning whenever I come with a new recipe. You know you want to check them out. But until then, I'll see you at the next recipe.